On this episode, we smoke the Thin Green Line from the Fatboy Cigars Boots on the Ground series. I'm your host, Johnny Midas, and you're listening to Burnline Podcast. Burnline Podcast. The burn line on a well-crafted cigar is straight and sharp as a razor, much like our wit and wisdom. Road.
Care about how clean, honestly.
Yeah, I think we're...
You can edit that out.
And what's up, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, over the age of 21. You are listening to Burnline Podcast, the dulcet tones of Johnny Midas and El Fumo, coming to you, as always, not live.
Good thing.
From the Hot Box, the smoky back room where deals of struck and fortunes are made, adjacent to the Blanco Cigar Lounge, nestled among the complex of rooms that comprise Union Cigar, Hanover, Pennsylvania, USA, the only Blanco Lounge in North America. I'm Johnny Midas.
And I'm Angel El Fumo Solario. Don't spit that out.
And we are smoking the Thin Green Line today. So,
Thin green line, but not a thin stick.
no, not a thin stick. This is a nice, chunky candela. And that's, super cool Thin Green Line. Candela's green. So a little bit about the presentation. Of course, these do not come in a box. The individual sticks, you can see they're cello wrapped, which is great to protect, finger fucking. And they've got the black yarn that sort of represents the laces, the boot laces, and the tag, which is supposed to represent the dog tags. So this is part of the Boots on the Ground series. We did the Thin Red Line, the Fireman's tribute, a couple months ago, I think December or something.
That was you and Nick, yeah.
Yeah, did that with Nick. And we are going to smoke this Thin Green Line. And of course, the big claim to fame from Fatboy is donating money to charities that benefit our frontline heroes when you buy the Boots on the Ground series. This one, I think it was the Fallen Warriors Foundation, I think. So fantastic charity there. So you can enjoy a cigar and, support our troops, really. Let's get this out of the cello. Opened great. Cello is very easy to peel the tape off. I like the sort of collectible dog tag thing.
Yeah.
Does have a closed foot.
So down with that.
Yeah.
Never had a closed foot candela, so that'll be interesting to try.
Oh, yeah. And then it has the snipped pigtail cap, just like a Behike.
Yeah.
Has that.
So that's interesting, too.
All of the Boots on the Ground series, I believe, have that. And this is a 6 by 50.
I want to say 52.
4. All right. Let's see who. Let's see.
Do you have a thing on your phone?
I am looking it up right now.
Oh, she had the magazine where I know they have the true to size gauges on them.
So Fatboys. All right, I got maple syrup on my phone screen, and I can't get it to work right recently. So it is a 5.5 by 54. Boom, who's your daddy? Nailed it. Well, I said 6 by 54, but I got the ring gauge, so I'm getting better at that. Anyway, looking at the presentation, now candela is really has to do with how early it's picked, the way the leaf is handled. So for folks that are maybe newer to the cigar thing, candela is not a breed or a brand or a type of tobacco. It's the way that the leaf is treated, right? And so in theory, you could have a Pennsylvania broadleaf candela.
Yep.
That sounds like suicide. I totally would not want to try that, you know? Or you could have like a Corojo 97 candela, which would be much more delicate.
Yeah.
That leaf is more fragile. I do not know what the underlying leaf is that the candela is made out of, but we are going to find out today. So 5.5 by 54 candela wrapper, thin green line from Fatboy Cigars, Boots on the Ground series. And of course, it's dedicated to the men and women of the military. It is a Nicaraguan wrapper, and it's a Nicaraguan puro.
Okay.
All binder and filler is Nicaraguan.
Oh,
So this sounds like,
we're in for quite a trip.
yeah, this sounds really interesting because candelas are, known for being like,
Bitter.
yeah, bitter, but also light, like
Yeah,
they're
but
on
you're
the,
giving us Nicaraguan, so it's like,
exactly. So we're combining tobacco that's known for being strong and spicy with a light bitter leaf. So let's see.
see if we turn as green as this cigar.
I don't know. We're gonna find out.
Yeah.
Have we done a candela on the show before?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't.
We've
I don't
only
think
had
we have.
the hooligan and the ogre. That's about as close as we got to a candela.
Yeah, those were both barber poles,
Yep.
right? Yeah. All right, well, let's actually smoke this thing. It is time for the official cutting. I will be cutting mine with my Craftsman's bench, open-ended double guillotine. Again, not sponsored. I have a few, well, more than a few. I've got a lot of cutters, and some of them are awesome.
Yeah.
This tends to be my go-to. On this cigar, I don't know if how well you can see that in the video, but it's just got the little pigtail thing. Like, you can't use a close-ended.
No, it's not
double
going to work.
yeah, you'd have to snip it multiple times. And of course, for any figurado, I want an openette. So this has kind of become my default go-to cutter.
Yep.
And it's very well made. Probably, I think it's worth the $30 price tag. But look inside there. You see that little screw?
No, okay, yeah.
So you can actually take the blades out and sharpen them.
Nice.
Yeah. So added.
That's a bonus.
Yeah.
For those that can do it, obviously.
Yeah, maybe take it to somebody.
Yeah.
Anyway, the official cutting is brought to you by Fatboy Cigars, which we are smoking today. The bold and delicious flavors of premium hand-selected tobacco leaves are highlighted in the original Jack cigar by Fatboy Cigars, the box press Robusto, one of my favorites. And don't forget to try the Fatboy Cigars Boots on the Ground series. For every cigar that you purchase in this series, Fatboy Cigars will donate $1 to charities benefiting our frontline heroes. Fatboy Cigars, welcome to the Fatboy world.
All right.
And as always, we remind everybody to clip that cigar. We need our own fucking separate ashtrays.
Yeah.
Our hands are so big.
I'm just so used to like
With authority.
having two or one because of.
And I'm going to reclip this with authority. I think that is closer to what I was looking for.
Yeah, check that. That looks so cool.
It is like a triple wrapped cap, so
Yeah.
it's a little thicker than what I had expected.
Yeah. Do you think because it's a candela, maybe you have to wrap it just a little bit?
I don't know. I know that there's like some leaves where, different methodologies produce more consistent results.
Gotcha.
And then there's plenty that goes into aesthetics too. Like Foundation has a lot of Pennsylvania broadleaf Maduro wrappers, or San Andreas Maduro wrappers. That's a thick, oily leaf. You can't be like wrapping it around and around and around.
Yeah.
Looks like beef jerky or something.
Check out that bunching.
Yeah, it's very interesting. And 2-bar. It's fucking in 2-bar construction, isn't it? We'll stop guessing,
Whoa.
or we'll end up figuring out who.
Yeah, we're dissecting
who's
the
making
cigar and
it.
we're not
Yeah.
even smoking it. Like freaking.
All right.
idiots.
Well, let's get these lit so we can start tasting it. And closed foot means I'm going to taste that first.
Yep.
I'm not going to burn it off. I am using my Vertigo quad flame with the little punch in the bottom, big wheel for adjusting the flame height. And this is like your the best cheap lighter you can buy.
Oh yeah.
Right? It puts on no airs, no pretensions, but it just has become, ubiquitous because it always works.
Oh yeah.
So it's like this and the Craftsman's Bench. I use these more than anything else. Like I've got my golden lighter and all my special stuff, but these, it's like I know it's going to work.
It's just clutch.
Yeah,
It's a clutch
like
lighter.
I do actually want to smoke the cigar. I would like to appreciate a gorgeous lighter, but that's not the point. It has to actually light the cigar on fire. So keep your day fueled with delicious premium coffee from 2C Premium Coffee, the official lighting partner for Burnline Podcast, featuring select beans from Bali, Kenya, Ethiopia, and around the world. What are we doing? Is it Tanzania?
Yeah,
That we're doing today? Am I not supposed to say?
Yeah, so now you got to edit that out.
But amazing coffee from around the world, not down the street. 2C Premium utilizes continual roasting, so you are always getting a truly fresh cup of premium coffee. 2C Premium Coffee, morning made us. All right.
Yeah, use that beep later.
It doesn't matter. So I am toasting up just the wrapper.
Yeah, I'm sure this one's pretty close to it. Turn that bad boy down just there.
Whoa, that was interesting. I mean, I definitely have the candela taste. But also like...
That's weird.
Yeah, also like an earthen beef jerky. That was
earthy
just...
as fuck.
Yeah, that was just from the wrapper. I just lit the closed foot.
That was cool as shit.
Yeah. And as always, we remind our listeners, toasted, not roasted. We are just trying to get this leaf to smolder, not light it on fire, not char it, and whatever you do, don't suck that goddamn 14,000 degree butane flame down the barrel of your cigar. Let it come to you. And on the closed foot, so not making the assumption that everybody who listens to the podcast knows all of the taxonomy and nomenclature, because even I can't keep it straight half the time. That's the head, that's the foot, part that you light, and a closed foot is where the tobacco from the wrapper comes all the way down over the foot, and you just have wrapper leaf. I used to burn that off.
Yeah, me too.
Like everyone just does, and then
Francisco.
Yeah, Francisco, Dominican big leaguer cigars, said no. The blender does that so that you can taste just the wrapper, right? And now whenever I have a closed foot cigar, I try to taste just the wrapper, and I will tell you that was very different from other candelas I've smoked. Very different.
It really is.
It had a like a beef jerky, like charred meat, earth on top of that regular candela. Now, for folks that haven't done a lot of cigar smoking or a lot of candela smoking, I don't really know how to describe a candela wrapper, except you can say bitter, you can say vegetable bitter.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's just candela. Like, go fucking smoke one.
Yeah.
Because that's easier than me trying to explain what candela tastes like.
And like right now I can tell you, like like the wrapper is more moist. Like there's more moisture in it.
Mm-hmm.
Like damp. It's damp. The wrapper's damp.
Yeah, that's the main difference. So, kind of mentioned it at the start, but for folks that aren't, maybe up to speed on their wrapper materials, candela is a green leaf because it is green when it's picked.
Right.
Right.
Still has the chlorophyll in it.
Mm-hmm.
Usually when they cure them.
Yeah, so it's not, cured and aged and left on the stalk to,
Yeah, they don't brown.
cure.
They don't pick them brown.
Yes,
So,
exactly.
like you said, for the people that don't know and just smoke them, it's like, no, the leaves aren't brown when they're picked them. They're green and alive. It's when they get put in the barn where they lose their color, where they lose the chlorophyll.
Well, at least for candela. Now, some medio tiempo, for example, is a classic example of leaves that they'll let turn brown on the stalk before harvesting them. There's a few different methodologies there, but candela is green, like it is a living leaf that is clipped off and kept protected to keep it green. Now, it's weird because it's like intentional now.
Yeah.
You know, and there's a lot of art that goes into like a good candela.
Yeah.
But originally, pretty much from like, I'm going to say like 1910 or so, 1910, 1920. From then until the 70s, probably, your cigars were just all candela. But the reason for that was a production issue, where you had to make the cigars and ship them, and it's fast and easy, right? You don't have to invest all of that time in aging the tobacco and then risk not selling it. Also, you know, a lot of the regions were not stable enough for that. So, you know, you had Cuba, of course, before the revolution. Cuba was, you know, it was like Las Vegas of the South. You know, it was a destination vacation, lots of luxury associated with it. They could sell some fucking cigars, but the cigars that were distributed in the U.S. were almost exclusively green.
Yeah.
That is to say, candela. Well, it wasn't on purpose. Today, it's on purpose. If you're making a candela, it's on purpose, and it actually takes it does taste some cost. Now, you're not tying up money in inventory that's sitting in bales aging, so that part's good. Kind of like, you know, when you're making vodka, like you don't have to age it in a barrel.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So candela is like the moonshine of cigar wrappers, right? But nowadays it's like intentional. It's like when you go to the store and you got like Jim Beam moonshine, and it's like, well, but they went out of their way to make that because their whole process and everything is set up for aged whiskey. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I know it's not related to the cigar, but since you said moonshine, I'm like, you can't buy moonshine legally. I'm sorry. If you want real good moonshine, you can't buy it at the store.
Well, that's what you know, where the new name came from, because you had to make it by moonlight,
right, right.
so you wouldn't get caught. But
I'm just saying, like, buying moonshine at the store is a waste of money.
Well, that's all it is it's distilled alcohol that hasn't been aged in barrels yet, right? So, you know, it's cheap, like it's the starter stuff, you know, and it's like,
yeah, it's just weird. I've never bought moonshine at the store. I just can't get myself to do it.
Well, so starting up a distillery, that's a whole other topic, but like you don't have a choice.
Yeah, I know.
You know, like
I do.
I can't sell you aged stuff because I opened last year. I don't have any aged stuff, and so a lot of, you know what, we'll see if Jen can come on the show.
Okay.
Because they just opened Covalent Distillery.
Yeah.
Down south. But what they'll do is, you know, they'll buy finished product from other companies and resell it, and that can get you through until your first like original aged stuff can come out of the 2-barrel rick house or whatever you can afford.
Yeah.
Starting out. All right, so I guess we're about a quarter of an inch into these. This is the thin green line from Fatboy Cigars, 5.5 by 54. So I like the Vitola.
Yeah.
I think like 6 by 52. What is that, Toro?
Yeah.
That's like, you know, a really good size for me. I'm still Robusto is my favorite, just because I don't like smoking cigars that long. Or if I have to put it down, I feel less guilty because it's smaller. I don't know. But this is basically a Toro, little shorter and a little chubbier.
Honestly, this is so weird to say. This is like the smoothest candela I've smoked.
Without a doubt.
Like, I smoked...
This is without a doubt the smoothest candela I've ever smoked. Like, it has the candela flavor, but it's muted. I've got a lot of black pepper.
Right.
I've got a lot of earth, and I've got this charred beef.
You got a little bit of peat there?
I think, yes, that's what I'm calling earth. Yeah, it's peaty.
It's a little peaty.
Yeah. And that, to me, I guess that's the candela effect, right?
Yeah, and it's a little damp on the lips.
Oh yeah, well,
Like, the texture.
yeah.
When you go to draw, like I don't really get that with regular cigars.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is a regular cigar, but like, you know.
It's very cool. It's very cool. You're further in than I am, probably because I've been yapping. But
Man, this is great, dude. This is a badass candela. Like,
this is excellent, and I am not a candela fan, but
Neat.
this is an excellent cigar. So spicy meat, but it's like black pepper spicy,
Right.
not cayenne pepper spicy, but like peppered steak and peat.
I'm getting like a hint of cedar there.
Yeah, there is. You're right. There's a little cedar in there too.
Oh, by the way, how's your draw? Mine's a little, just a hair tight, not terrible.
Yes, I think mine is on the tight side, which is absolutely perfect in my wheelhouse. But notice I can't cut off much more than that.
Yeah.
I'm kind of right on the shoulder.
Yeah, me neither.
And for folks that like if you like Gordos or something where the smoke just kind of comes into your mouth unbidden, this is gonna feel a little tight.
Yeah.
For me, I like to tell the cigar when it's gonna smoke.
Yeah.
And for me, it's the perfect draw. I like mine just a little on the tight side.
Yeah, that vegetables, it's pretty subtle. Like,
It's
super
very
subtle.
muted, yeah. Like for a candela, I mean, shit, this has got less candela bitter than like the Asylum Ogre had,
Yeah,
and it's all candela.
definitely. Like, the other true candela I've ever smoked was that Arturo Fuente,
Mm-hmm.
and that was bitter as shit.
It was very bitter. Yeah, that was the one Fuente. I'm like, nope, not smoking that again. It is just this is like a meaty,
Yeah,
beefy, definitely Nicaraguan tobacco.
yeah.
And I can even tell you, I would bet you dollars to donuts that a big chunk of this filler came from SLE, just based on the flavor profile.
I'm gonna say this
Pepper.
is like mid-bodied, maybe.
Yeah, I would say mid.
I can feel like it's going to pick up on strength. Not yet, but I feel like it's going to.
Yeah, I think I feel like the nicotine strength is going to sneak up on us.
Yeah.
The overall flavor, like it's very rounded. And it's almost full body, but it's definitely like smooth, mid-bodied.
Yeah. That
Flavor.
candela like keeps it down.
Yeah, yeah. Very interesting. Wouldn't surprise me. You know, this actually reminds me of like a classic 1960s Cuban, because they were pretty much all candelas, and they had the same thing with like, they weren't like meaty and spicy like this. They were much more like floral.
Gotcha.
But definitely like this mid-bodied, smooth, and then, you know, you get into the second, third, and all of a sudden you get smacked in the back of the head
Yeah.
with nicotine strength. It feels like that might be what we're about to experience.
Possibly. I have a feeling it might sneak up on us and be like, here I am. And of course, an uneven burn. You gotta keep twisting it around.
Yeah, any green leaf or lighter leaf tobacco, you got to watch that.
Thick wrapper, obviously.
Yep. Yeah, green tobacco is much thicker, obviously. All right, so let us take a look at this cigar. So I am on fatboycigars.com, and a single of this Boots on the Ground series, thin green line, 5.5 by 54, candela wrapped, is $7.25, which is a super value price for a cigar this size these days. Especially given, like, I know I'm a half an inch in, but this was definitely made by a premium cigar maker.
Yeah. Check out that vein popping up.
Nice.
Like, you don't get that
You can
normally.
see it in the
yeah.
ash.
It's
Yeah.
so crazy.
So, not much disclosed here about the cigar, except there's 4 blends, of 100% Nicaraguan long filler. And the outer leaf is a Nicaraguan candela. And they've got this awesome note on here. To achieve the desired results, candela wrapped cigars must be in a cool temperature setting. If needed, you can refrigerate them, keep them in the cello and a closed container so they do not dry out. To prevent cracking, make sure that they do not burn too hot. Be gentle with them and you will have an unforgettable smoke. This is an experience of a lifetime. The truth is in the smoke. So 2 reviews, both 5-star reviews. Fantastic, big flavor, nice transitions, totally enjoyable. There's one comment, great cigars, great service. Another comment. Of course, you know, we partner with Fatboys for a reason, which is they're really good cigars and they're in the price range that they can be a daily smoke. Yeah. And of course, it's a local business out of Pittsburgh. Great family there. Selling these, and of course you can go to fatboycigars.com and pick you some up. Being in Pennsylvania helps, you know, with the favorable taxes. Yeah, tax friendly on that end. Yep. So we're doing all of that. The hot box is not very hot today, which can't be helped because it's still fucking winter here in Pennsylvania. Yeah, old man winter came back. Jeez. And we're not in Erie, Pennsylvania, right? No. We're like 2 minutes from Maryland, right? You know? I'm sure it's colder in Pittsburgh right now. Yeah, I bet. Old man winter's revenge. So long, slow draws to keep the cherry cool. Mm-hmm. Keeping an ash on there helps keep the cherry cool, insulates it actually. Yep. So we're doing this right, and now we haven't done it wrong, but I'm going to guess based on the commentary on the website that they've experimented with these a little bit. Yeah. So if you're like a cigar chugger, you know, you're just choo-choo training your way through the cigar, like, it's probably not going to taste the same. And it makes sense because your acrid, bitter flavor is going to pick up the hotter it's burning, right? And as one of the tips I gave out previously, like, higher humidity content means a more bitter cigar. Mm-hmm. But obviously this is going to have higher humidity because it's a more alive wrapper. Yep. It's still thinking about putting out roots. Wouldn't it be funny if you're smoking this and then your hair just turns into like chia? I'll bet I can find a way to do that with AI. All right, why don't we take a break, and when we come back, we will have our tobacconist tip of the week. Don't go away. And now your tobacconist tip of the week with Angel Solorio. And we're back on Burnline Podcast. Burnline Podcast. Uncommon cigar knowledge for the common cigar smoker. What was that, like a southern Sean Connery? That was Appalachian. That sounded like a southern Sean Connery. That's Appalachian. Yeah, like, that's what Appalachian is, man. It's like if you took Irish and Scottish and fucking Southern and mashed them together, you know, Appalachian. Yeah. Is it Appalachian or Appalachia? Or Appalachian. Put some far on this stick and enjoy the hell out of it. Would you just shut up and give us the tobacconist tip of the week? Sorry, that was too funny. Yeah, tobacconist tip of the week. So, as since we were talking about the seasons or the temperature, you know, during the winter, mostly, it's okay to leave like your cigars in like your herfador or in a container because they'll be okay. Like one of the your car. In your car. Yeah, like outside. Not in your car. Outside in your car, it'll be okay. Like one of the tips for tobacconists is, you know, in your book, one of the tips is to throw, like, if you think you have a beetle problem or you know you have a beetle problem, the tip is to throw your cigars in the freezer. So that's not a problem. It's not going to kill them. Right. So why would that be an actual legitimate industry tip? Right. So
if you leave them in your car in the winter, it'll be okay.
Yeah.
You just don't smoke them right away because you're gonna fuck them
Yeah.
up though. But like during the summer, once it starts getting warmer, do not leave your cigars in the car because that heat will fuck them up, pop them, and then those beetles will come in.
Yeah.
And then you'll have Swiss cigars.
Yeah. Yeah.
You'll have Swiss cigars.
Yeah, so you want to watch the humidity. So, like a Herfordor seals and you got a Boveda pack in there. But the cold is not going to hurt the cigars. It will hurt if you take it right out and try to light it up.
Right, that's what I'm saying, yeah.
Because then it'll expand and pop the wrapper and stuff. But you can get away with that. Yeah. In the summer, though, you just can't. Like, the inside of that fucking Herfordor is like 120 degrees or something.
Yeah, because I think what's the record for heat in the car? Like 135, something like that. So that shit's an oven. That is an oven. And then in there, and like I said, I think the temperature for a beetle to come out is 75.
Yeah.
Like given enough time. And those beetles, they're South American, so they're gonna love that fucking heat. And they're like, "Hey, here we are." And like
we're back home again.
Yeah.
So, and then you'll know because you'll open it up and flakes of the wrapper will just start coming off.
Like I said, you'll have Swiss cigars, holes. Yeah. is what I mean.
I don't know. It's really interesting because a lot of cigars will do just fine if you like live in Louisiana.
Yeah.
Like you don't even have to put them in a humidor because it's subtropical.
Yeah.
Like in the summer it's okay, but heat does way more damage to a cigar than cold does. And you're right. Like when you're training to be a certified retail tobacconist, like they will tell you if you have a beetle problem, freeze the cigar. It's not going to hurt the cigar.
Right.
But it'll hurt the beetle.
Yeah.
And then all you have to worry about is pops and sparks when you're smoking.
Right. It'll be like you're smoking like campfire wood.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing over there?
One or two is okay. I think you had, didn't you?
Yeah, I had a pop last week. Yeah. So I was like, "Whoop, there's a beetle." Yeah. So I smoked the beetle.
So no beetles in these. What am I, like an inch in now?
Yeah. Yeah, about an inch and an eighth.
It's still like, it's an amazingly meaty cigar.
Yeah.
Definitely has some, I think the cedar picked up a little bit for me. Black pepper, but it's just smooth and mid-bodied. Like all of these are very subtle flavors.
I'm so surprised by this, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, like it does not have that harsh candela bitter.
I really want to ash, but I don't. I just want to see how far
you can get it. Yeah. All right, so while we continue enjoying these thin green line cigars from Fatboy Cigars, we're going to talk a little bit about our cigar ranking process because it is a little different and there's a reason for that. So Nick the Brick and I came up with this, and we're going to start with the set and setting. So there are a few folks out there that do blind cigar tasting. Cigar Journal, Cigar Snob, they actually wear blindfolds to smoke cigars so that they can, be unbiased in the flavor, right? And we went hard the opposite direction because, look, when it comes right down to it, all of the other senses are just as important when you're enjoying a cigar.
Yeah.
So you could have a cigar, you take the band off and blindfold yourself and whatever, and it might taste pretty good.
Yeah.
It might get a good taste ranking. But then you look at it and it's got this shit band, that's just ugly, and it's in ugly box and presentation. Well, that affects the cigar smoking experience. And, there's this idea, like, we're not going to bias, like, we don't want you to see that it's an EP Carrillo because you're going to rank it higher. Yeah, but if that's true, then if you're a cigar smoker in the lounge and you purchase that Carrillo, you are experiencing that. Mm-hmm. If it is true enough that you have to control for that to get a real cigar ranking, well, then it's a real thing. We're not smoking blindfolded out in the lounge.
No.
Right? We're smoking the real thing. And the truth is, like when we unboxed that Story by Fuente.
Yeah.
And fucking, luxury timepiece type of packaging. Like that really affected the experience of smoking the cigar.
Yeah.
And so if I just took that cigar and smoked it blind, well, big whoop, you could have two cigars that smoked identical. That one is going to be more enjoyable because of the art and the enjoyment and the visual presentation and even the tactile feel of like the nubuck leather sleeve that it's in.
Yeah.
You know, so we went the exact opposite direction, and we were like, no, we're absolutely going to pay attention to the artwork and stuff. This is part of smoking a cigar.
Yeah.
You know, it's a whole experience. Keep this delicious stick lit while I'm yakking. So, and that's another reason why we rank on experience, right? So the next thing that kind of separates our cigar rankings from others is we evaluate 5 dimensions of the cigar.
Yeah.
Right. And so, you know, flavor is one of them. But let's be honest, that's just a small part of the cigar experience, right? So we have price, which is also value.
Yeah.
Like that matters, you know. In this case, like we've got this thin green line from Fatboys, and we just looked up a single 725 for a 5.5 by 54.
Yeah.
And this is a premium cigar. You know, they're not going to disclose who makes them for them, but you can tell by smoking it, like this is from a legit cigar manufacturer.
Yeah.
Right.
This is awesome.
Well, that's a good value.
Yeah.
You know, if this same cigar cost $18, that changes things, right? And so we evaluate the price or the value, right? The presentation, man, like I said, big part of cigar smoke. Why do you think these companies spend tens and hundreds of thousands of dollars on packaging? You know, like a die set to make your band. That can be 50 grand, just right there, boom. At least 25 grand just to purchase the dies, right?
Yeah.
So you're investing tens of thousands of dollars. Why would you do that if you could just bundle cigars without bands and sell them like that and have the same experience? Well, you can't, right?
No, you really can't. Yeah,
And
because like you said, the artwork's part of it.
Yes, it has always been a part of the cigar experience, right? And of course, we evaluate the construction. That's like the technical part of it. And this is really important because we've had cigars where the construction was meh, you know, and we knocked points off of that. But the rest of it is like, man, I would smoke this again.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and again, you know, if the value is right, if the flavor is right, if the experience is right, you know. And of course, we rank experience. Super subjective, but let's be honest, cigars are a subjective experience, you know.
Yeah.
And we've had quite a few cigars on the show where, you know, technically they weren't awesome cigars. You know, the presentation was acceptable, the construction was acceptable,
Yeah.
the flavor was good, but just smoking it was like having a fucking rock concert in your mouth, you know? It's like, this is a great cigar. It makes me feel good smoking it. Well, isn't that the point?
Yes, that
You know?
is. Yeah.
So we really decided to go hard opposite direction and align our ranking with actually smoking a cigar and what people, you know, really go through when they're enjoying the hobby, right? We're not trying to inform cigar makers on how good they are at blending flavors. We're trying to inform our audience, hey, you might really like this cigar.
Right. That's what we're doing.
Yeah. And then, of course, we kept it to 50 is the top score, right? So we have 5 dimensions. Each one, you know, is 1 to 10. And we did that for a bunch of reasons, but the main one was if we went on a 100-point scale, then people are going to just by default compare our rankings to everyone else that has a 100-point scale, right? And so it's like, well, you know, this got a 96 on Cigar Aficionado, and, you know, Burnline gave it a 88. Why is that? Well, because we're ranking the cigar completely differently.
Right.
Even though the categories are subjective, you get a hard number for 5 different categories. So that's a little bit, about our cigar ranking process, and wanted to take time to share that with all of our listeners, why we do it differently.
Yeah.
Because, we felt like there's a little hole in the industry,
Yeah, and it's just more manageable to do our point system too.
Mm-hmm.
It's half of that, and like if you think about it, we're actually per category we're literally ranking 1 to 100, but by tens.
Yeah. So we cut out when was the last time you saw a cigar that was ranked like below maybe an 88?
I don't think I ever have. It's
like, so,
why would every cigar be over 80?
Like you're wasting the first 80 numbers.
Yep.
So we just made it smaller. Yeah.
My ash is kind of green.
Yeah, it's definitely a candela ash. That is so cool. And it is hanging on there, man.
Yeah. I wonder how far it can. I'm pretty sure it can get almost a little over halfway, maybe.
It is well constructed, I will say that. And both of our burn lines, it's not like a razor sharp line, which I wouldn't expect on a candela wrapper.
No.
But it is burning evenly with very little attention. Haven't had any, micro tunnels or issues with the bunching.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
It's hanging on there.
Yeah.
All right, so now that we're transitioning into the second, third, what are your thoughts on the flavor with this guy?
I like it, man. Like you said, it's meaty, not too spicy. It's just black pepper. That cedar is still about the same for me.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, for being a candela, it hasn't gotten bitter.
No, it hasn't. It hasn't. So it is changing really subtly for me, but it's like in the ratios of the same flavors.
Yeah.
There's definitely like this peppered steak, but it's not like a rare steak. This is like well done beef. Definitely has a cedar component, and then it has a little bit of that loam, peaty, not quite grassy, which you expect from a candela. It doesn't quite get there, and for me, like the bitter is very low on the palate, so definitely unique for candelas for me.
Yeah, it's very subtle, the bitterness.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And there goes. Lost the ash. Was that like 1.5 inches, 2 inches?
Yeah, that was 2 inches.
Yeah.
And that's probably the biggest ash.
So the draw is tight. Nice. Very coherent. Like I said, this is like perfect for Johnny Midas, but I can see other folks, it's too tight. People that like a looser draw. So it's not tight, but it is firm. I see you got a little issue with your wrapper there, I think. Maybe. Yeah, looks like that tail is starting to come off. You might want to lick and stick that.
Yeah, that was a little bit of me though, because I was trying to loosen it up.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of popped it myself.
Mm-hmm. So you did the little finger roll to try to loosen the draw a little bit. Yeah, I gotcha. I like how the wrapper changes color coming back from the burn line.
Yeah.
Like you can see it sort of drying out as you smoke it.
So is this a fire cured now?
Yeah. And candela fire cured. Eat your heart out, Drew Estate.
Oh man, that's what do you call that? Brand confusion.
Yeah.
We start using KFC.
So let's talk about.
I'm gonna have to relight.
Let's talk about pairing this stick. So I'm thinking this would go amazing with a hoppy beer, like an IPA, if you're into that sort of thing. I don't think from the flavors I'm getting, I'm not sure it would go great with a stout.
Definitely not.
You could definitely get away with a lager. Now, I'm not a huge fan of like pairing lager with anything because it's just such a bland beer. But you could. I don't think it would clash or anything. On the whiskey front, though, I've been racking my brains for the last 20 minutes on this show. Like, what would I pair with this?
Probably not something too bitter though.
Well,
Because you'll take away from it.
I don't think a Scotch would pair with this.
No.
Definitely not an Islay or Lowlands.
Maybe a brandy.
Yes, I think brandy would go great. I think you could pull off some rums. I think the sweetness.
Definitely a rum.
I think the sweetness on some rums would kill it. But if you got the right rum, I think that Zacapa would probably go.
Maybe some Makers and Coke.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Bourbon is hard to pair with cigars, a lot harder than people think. Yeah. Partly because, there's a broad range. I was actually thinking on the bourbon front, Basil Hayden's, because it's got that little spicy component.
Yeah.
I'll bet you that would be interesting. I want to try, so Jack Daniels has this Frank Sinatra Century, and it is $2,400
I know what you're talking
for
about.
the bottle. Yeah.
I think that was only available at airports.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Secondary market, it's insane. I kind of want to get it. So my last consulting check on the side was like a little bit more than that. And I've been hanging on to it, and I'm just thinking about, do I spend it? Do I spend it on a single bottle? Well, we would definitely have to sip that on the show.
Would Mrs. Midas be okay with that?
Mrs. Midas does not know how I spend all of my side gig money.
Well, I think she does now. So.
Yeah, no, she doesn't listen. Definitely does not listen to the show. She puts up with it. Yeah, the number one reason to get a side gig is so you have free cash flow that the other person can't see. So. We should do a wealth building show. We should do one where the special thing is just talk about how do you get fucking wealthy.
While smoking a cigar.
While smoking a cigar. Like, it's so easy in America. And I know it's easier for me because I have an IQ of like 185. But, it is easy. It's just we don't teach people. Like, what is money? How does it work?
Yeah, we were just talking about that right before the show.
Like, yeah, we were just talking about that. Like, this, just before the internet, you would hear bullshit from your parents or whoever because you didn't get to choose who you were exposed to. And that's what that whole Rich Dad Poor Dad book by Robert Kiyosaki was about. Is like his poor dad had a PhD and was a teacher and followed all of the I've got my 501b17 whatever the fuck savings plan, and and I bought a house and all of this, and he wasn't that poor, like he lived a normal middle class lifestyle and could retire, right? But now Kiyosaki's worth like $1 billion or something, or at least he was before the Chinese stole his gold mine. Yeah, he actually discovered the largest gold mine in history in China.
You mean China discovered the largest gold mine?
No,
in
he
China?
did.
China.
He did, and he owned it for like 2 years before the communists came along. They're like, no, that's ours.
That's what I'm saying. They found it.
Meanwhile, we're surrounded by corporations that are, offering great goods and services to people, but it relies on our self-control not to get taken advantage of.
Right.
We're just bombarded. I mean, you got car companies that are selling cars, like the median new car price in North America last year was like $47,000. That's fucking insane, but we're voting with our dollars. Yeah. Because we're buying them. You know?
That's the dumb thing. It's like right now, the biggest issue with that car thing, it's like south of the border, everywhere south of the U.S. border is getting this awesome brand new fucking less than 10 grand pickup truck from Toyota. And Toyota said, nope, you can't ship it north because your GDP is too high. It's not for that GDP market. It's like, what?
Yeah.
Do you know how crazy that would sell regardless of the GDP?
Well, they couldn't. They literally couldn't make enough of them. And it would be underpriced, but how about 20 grand?
Right.
A $20,000 Toyota pickup truck, I'd be driving one right now.
Yeah, I would too.
I would literally be driving one right now.
Like,
I mean, shit. I could pay cash for that. I probably wouldn't.
dude, like some other countries, like European countries, get better versions of some of our cars.
Mm-hmm. But the point is, and where people get, fucked up is they act like they're victims to Amazon. Like, oh, this evil corporation's trying to separate me from my money. Well, first of all, that's their job. Second of all, you're volunteering. They didn't force you to give them your money. You actually benefit from it. You just don't have the self-control to not click buy it now.
Right.
I mean, that's the bottom line.
Yeah.
Right? Like, business is so good to everyone. I mean, look at China. When they finally decided we're going to let people go into business, billions of people raised into the middle class, no longer, living a subsistence, oh my God, I can't wait to die lifestyle, by providing goods and services that benefit people, But then we're over here like watching TikTok and shit, like, I need to have that lifestyle. Bitch, that's posed. That is all fake shit. You know what I mean? Like, that person has to go home and change a poopy diaper too. Like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm sipping a Mai Tai on the beach. Don't I have a great life?
Yeah.
With my $20,000 handbag. So where do you put the dirty diaper when you're on vacation at the beach? In the fucking handbag.
Right.
That's why.
Like, you want to talk about business opportunities and shit in America? There's that guy that literally has a private jet in a hangar that doesn't even fly because TikTokers and Instagrammers go and like, getting on my private jet, and he literally rents the jet out to those assholes to pretend like it's their jet. It's like, shit.
Yeah, that's a business I need to be in. I thought about buying one and parking it in the hangar, over there at the airport, and leasing it like that. I'm just not sure there's enough influencers in that area.
Yeah, there isn't.
Make money. If it was like Baltimore, I'd totally do it.
I mean, it's close. Get more cedar out of it.
Yeah, the cedar's picked up. I was gonna say like the woodsy component.
Yeah.
This is a really interesting cigar. It is so mid-body and smooth, and you know what? That strength hasn't picked up. I thought it was gonna give me that Nicaraguan punch in the back of the head.
Yeah.
And it hasn't yet. I have never smoked a candela that is like this smooth. Like there's that bitter is just barely. It's just there enough, But I love that, like it's like peppered beef flavor on it.
And it doesn't stink either.
Mm-mm.
Not a stinky cigar.
Oh, this is not a stinky cigar. Yeah, that fleshy, meaty flavor is definitely a big component of it. All right, now that we're done talking about how to be wealthy in America while smoking a Fatboy Cigars thin green line, why don't we take our last break and we'll come back and do our cigar news of the week.
Yeah.
Now your cigar news of the week with Angel Solorio. And we are back on Burnline Podcast, the most awesomest cigar podcast on the interwebs with our single camera setup. Nothing fancy here. It's time for our cigar news of the week. El Fumo, what you got for us?
All right. So, as we all know, last year was announced at PCA that PCA was moving to this month.
Yeah.
So, which actually helps out a lot of cigar retailers that go to PCA because, dude, like it was the second weekend of July. You know busy weekend, especially for the Gettysburg store.
Oh yeah.
For those that don't know, the second weekend of July is Bike Week in Gettysburg, and the weekend before that is the anniversary for the Battle of Gettysburg.
Yeah.
So it's like our store is slammed in July. Was slammed in July, and then our owners would go to PCA.
Yeah.
You know, and it was like shit. We lost half the team. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they'd have to QB from Vegas.
And it's not just, Gettysburg. Like, you got the 4th of July.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many events around that,
right.
cigar events. And then it's just summertime. You got people going to the golf course and on vacation and all of that. So despite the fact that it's fucking frigid out there, I think it was a good move. And then this is the last year in Vegas. Is that right? I
think it's the last year in Vegas. The other thing about the Vegas, it's not at the Venetian, it's at the Las Vegas Convention Center. So it's a slightly different venue. I mean, it's still in Vegas, but...
Well, they got so fucking weird about the smoking. The organizers were like, we're going to New Orleans.
Yeah.
And I kind of get it. Like, well, first of all, the weather's going to be pretty awesome in New Orleans.
Right. Same thing in Vegas. I mean, I would imagine right now is 60 in Vegas, probably?
Little chillier.
Yeah, so at least it's not like scolding July heat.
Yeah, that's
true. You're not cooking.
Yeah.
And same thing for New Orleans. New Orleans is not cool in July.
Yeah.
So you're not baking and sweating like crazy, so that'll be an awesome move.
But from what I heard from, some of the industry insiders, it really had to do with how fucking weird they were getting about the smoking. It's like, it's a cigar show, dudes. So if you want a city that will embrace your vices, New Orleans is the place to go. So it kind of makes sense.
Vegas is Sin City, and no smoking is a big sin. It's the one sin that's not allowed.
Well, you can smoke marijuana, though.
Yeah, you can smoke marijuana. Yeah. But anyways, as far as PCA goes, there's a bunch of releases, and everything's going on right now. So I can't cover everything, but this is what we got going on. So Dennis Rodman is teaming up with Dreamer Cigars, and he will be releasing a cigar line of them. So last week we announced Mike Tyson with Gurkha, so that's pretty interesting. So now we have Dennis Rodman. I didn't even. Well, I guess he's
a cigar smoker.
Yeah. A lot of the Bulls were. Yeah. I mean, Michael Jordan was a big cigar smoker.
No, I'll get that one because I've got a soft spot for Rodman. When he was getting his ass kicked by Larry Bird when he was on the Pistons, and then he came to the Bulls, and there was all this controversy about how weird he was and going to North Korea. But he was a hell of a rebounder.
He was a great baller, man.
He was a baller.
And
he just did his thing. And, you got to respect that, even if you disagree with whatever. It's like, he's him.
It's Dennis Rodman,
It's Dennis Rodman.
Comes with the territory for him. And then CAO is releasing a double. They're releasing the Fasa Sol and Fasa Noche, which has the same guts, but 2 different wrappers. Like the Fasa Sol has the... mouthful, which is the Honduran Olancha San Agustin wrapper. Say that 3 times fast.
I can't. Okay, but so I don't know what Fasa means, but that's basically like sun and moon, right?
Yeah, or night. Day and night.
Like day
Sol
and night.
And then noche, which is night. Yeah.
So isn't that this? Didn't who was it? Foundation that released the Sol and the Noche. Somebody had one. I don't know if we smoked them on the show, but that was something me and Nick smoked and didn't make it on the show.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't on the show.
The Lennox. Yeah,
by LFD.
LFD, they had the Knox, and then they came out with the Sol.
Okay. Yeah.
So interesting.
But dude, this is gonna be a hell of a cigar. It's a 6x50 for $7.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
So yeah. And that's both. It's like, dude, that's dope as shit. And then the Noche is gonna be a Connecticut shade.
I don't know what a San Agustin is because
Connecticut grown broadly. Sorry, not shade.
Oh, Connecticut broadly.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, because San Agustin is a famous grass that they grow on like golf courses and stuff in Florida. It stands up to heat. So I don't know. I've never heard that associated with tobacco before. So Johnny Midas learning something new.
Yeah. And then Tatuaje is adding a 4 Cojonio line. So that's just more cigars for you to smoke from Tatuaje. Like, didn't they just announce like another collab, and then now they're here?
Yeah.
Here's more sticks to smoke.
So we smoked the collab with my father.
My father, yeah.
And I think next week we're going to smoke the PCA 2023 from Tatuaje. So I picked a couple of those up. Yeah, I've got a real soft spot for Tatuaje sticks. I like their stuff.
Yeah.
I think Pete Johnson is like, he's one of those guys where it's like, whatever he turns his hand to, he's going to be excellent, but only, he'll only do as much as he can do excellently, and then he'll stop. He's got his hands in wine and tattoos and cigars. And so they're all kind of limited production runs because it's like, he'll do just enough that they're excellent, and then he'll just do something else.
Yeah. And then West Tampa Tobacco Company will be releasing the Circle of Life. That is a new line.
Have we smoked West Tampa on the show yet?
No, I've smoked the red.
We got a little issues here. You can see like a little micro tunnel. Nothing major. I'd still say the construction is, 95th percentile.
Yeah.
Been talking too much. Got to add a little fire. And of course, PCA is going on right now, right?
Yeah. That's where all this is being released from.
Yeah, that's the big.
Yesterday was the first day, and today's the second day, or third. No, sorry. Friday was first day. Yesterday second. Today third. Forgot Sunday. My weekend blended in. Yeah, and it's cool. Casa Carrillo is good. Is EP Carrillo makes their cigars, rolls their cigars.
Well, so, Casa Carrillo is the new brand they came up with to fold in, because they've got a lot of sub brands that didn't have the Carrillo name, and they wanted to capitalize on that.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
Yeah, and there's, like I said, just a shit ton more, but we can't go over them. I would need a whole probably half hour to announce.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I will announce this one, though. This is the last one. Maybe this is up Johnny Midas's alley. Fuente and Padron are finally releasing the Legends edition. Are you ready for this box price? Because you're getting probably a healthy, 40 sticks?
40 sticks?
I think it's 40 sticks. It looks.
What is it, $2,000?
No, you're way off there. Yeah, it's a box of 40, and it comes at $7,100.
Jesus fuck.
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yep.
Oh my god! And I thought the My Father Tatuaje collab
That's
was
24. What was that? 2,500?
Yeah, it was $60 a stick.
Yeah, this is $178 a stick. I'm like, damn.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
I don't even know if we can do that on the show. I'm gonna have to do a consulting gig just to pay for 2 cigars.
All right, trying to get a third mortgage.
Right? Well, and the thing is, I always like to get 3, and I put one in my Save It humidor, and then we smoke 2 of them. So that's what I did with I actually got 4 of the My Father collab because it's 2 different cigars. So I've got 1 of each in my collector humidor.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. I don't even know if I can support that. As much of a Fuente fan as I am, and as much as I like Padron, that just seems exploitative.
Yeah, 170. Or 180 for a stick.
I mean, it's less than a Bahique, but still.
Yeah, but check out that box. That is just dope as shit.
That is. I don't know. I kind of like the My Father collab better for the box. That's a nice box, but it doesn't come with a Cigar special branded cutter. Yeah, it's like here's your $400 box of cigars, and here's your $2,000 cutter.
Yeah.
All right, so I think it is time to rank this cigar. We're over an hour on the podcast, so we better wrap it up. Thanks for that news of the week.
Yeah.
We are smoking the Fatboy Cigars Thin Green line. Head on over to fatboycigars.com and check it out. $7.25 for a 5.5 by 54, and of course, check out all their other products. If you want to slap some high quality, affordable daily smokes into your humidor, that's the place to pick them up. This is the Thin Green line. It is in the Boots on the Ground series, and it has a Nicaraguan candela wrapper. The binder and filler are undisclosed Nicaraguan, so this is a Nicaraguan puro. And again, it retails for $7.25 on fatboycigars.com. Let's start out with the presentation. So I definitely like the cello, since these are like individual sticks.
Yeah.
And there's some aging on the cello as well, which is interesting, especially up here. You can see a little aging. It's interesting because candelas don't really age.
Yeah.
And so just a little bit of patina on the cello means it's been, aging for longer than if this was like a Maduro cigar.
Yeah.
Right. And then it's got this really cool bootlace black yarn. And then, of course, the dog tag we mentioned last time, missed opportunity to put a QR code on the back, like reorder here or something. Maybe we can come up with a QR code that has like a Burnline discount or something. Collab with them. So what are your thoughts on presentation?
Dude, I'm gonna give it an 8. Just because it's straight to the point, but like you said, it's missing. Like,
I think 8 is good for presentation. Love the thin green line, thin red line, thin blue line, the presentation of like the dog tag, with the bootlace. It's just cool.
Yeah. It'd be a cool presentation for a box for this. A small like ammo can.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So another thing that I really like about these cigars is the lack of a band.
Yeah.
Right. So you have this cello, and then this is on the outside of the cello.
Yeah.
So I don't have to worry about fucking up the wrapper.
Seriously, that's one of the best things ever.
Yeah.
I do appreciate a good band, but not having to fuck with a band is one of the greatest things.
Yeah. So it's got cool branding with this, but then once you undress the cigar, you can just smoke it, and you don't have to worry about, all of that stuff.
Yeah. We've had a couple cigars here lately where we go to take off the band and you're fucking up your wrapper.
That's the one thing with AJ Fernandez. Like, if I could get him in a room alone, it's like, you have amazing cigars, but why the fuck can't I take the band off? I mean, like the Dias de Gloria, that cedar strip with the ribbon on the bottom, like you can't even pull it off. It's like they put it on with a come along or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, and then, okay, so how about price? $7.25 is not a bargain basement stick.
No.
It might even be underpriced for what you're getting.
I think 8 as well.
8 for price?
Yeah.
I
just
think
for those reasons.
I think that's fair. I think it's a great price for people that daily smoke. I do think they could sell this at $11.
Oh yeah.
And maybe even increase the perceived value of it. So I think 8 is probably fair there. All right, so construction. I always start with a 10 and take points off. Didn't have I had a couple of micro tunnels starting to form. Didn't quite.
I got a little bit going on there.
You did. You got something going on there. Now you fucked yours up by rolling it between your fingers, and it is a delicate cigar. My construction is about a 9. Right? It's not perfect, but it's pretty good.
I would give mine a 9 too.
I wouldn't. I'd give yours like a 7 probably. Let's say 8. Combined score of an 8.
Okay.
I think that's probably pretty fair. All right, now we're getting into the good stuff. So flavor.
Flavor's definitely a 9. I was actually surprised by it because it's not. I was expecting a candela bitter, and it did not get that at all.
I did notice when I got to the final third, which you're not quite there yet, but I got this introduction of a butter flavor.
Butter.
So it was like peppered steak.
No, actually, I am getting a little bit of it.
Are you?
I'm in that a little buttery.
Yeah. Yeah. Lack of that bitter peppered steak. Yeah. Don't talk and smoke at the same time. The cedar component picked up as it went along.
Yeah.
I had a 10 for flavor. I think every cigar smoker will enjoy this cigar. I don't care what your wheelhouse is. This has got something for you in it. And because it's a mid-bodied smoke, you can retrohale, you're not going to choke on it. And it never came out with that punch you in the back of the head strength, which I think is a huge advantage for it. So I could give this cigar to folks, and I think everyone's going to enjoy it.
Yeah. I was expecting some green in the gills kind of situation.
Yeah.
Didn't get that at all.
Yeah. So that brings us to experience and, some use case on this. it is affordable enough that I would do a lot of stuff with this.
Yeah.
And it's light enough that I can do stuff with it.
Yep.
So I can see going fishing with it. I can see grilling out with
Oh, yeah,
it.
you can definitely grill.
Football party. Well, it's not that time of year. Formula One party. What was it? Australian Grand Prix this weekend.
Yeah.
Max Verstappen's car finally broke. Sucker.
And Carlos Sainz won with Ferrari.
Yeah, it's been 2 years since Max Verstappen's car has been retired. How's that for Honda reliability? Anyway, yeah. So Red Bull's powered by Honda. Don't tell anybody. But I would gift this to somebody in a heartbeat. Like if you don't even have to be that experienced of a smoker to have a great experience with it. You know, not a beginner cigar, but it's not going to make somebody green in the gills.
No, it won't.
And that like lack of candela bitter.
Yeah, that's what makes it awesome.
Makes it awesome. Yeah. So smoke it in the lounge, talk it over with friends. Not a celebration cigar.
Yeah.
But like everything else. You know, not
plenty
a,
of use.
Yeah. Broad use case. So what are you thinking for experience?
I want to give it a 9. We got the right setting for it. And it would actually be a good conversation starter in the lounge because somebody would walk in and be like, what the hell is that?
Yeah, exactly. Like and the boots on the ground and the dog tag and everything. I think 9 is a really fair rating there. I think this is one that, like, if you're a cigar aficionado
I'm gonna snip this.
and you've like smoked a lot of stuff,
Yeah.
this is the one to get because it is different. You know, that's one problem that Johnny Midas has is like, I smoked so many blends from so many producers that finding something new and different is challenging. Well, this one is. And that brings the total ranking for this Fatboy Cigars Boots on the Ground series thin green line. Nicaraguan puro candela wrapped, 5.5 by 54 to 42. So low 40s, not a lot of cigars in the 40s. That's a pretty good score.
Yeah, that really is. Man, I was just so surprised by the stick.
Mm-hmm. So head on over to fatboycigars.com, pick yourself up a pack of 3 for just over $20. Hard to beat that with a stick. And their packaging is always on fleek. So we did this unwrapping last week.
Yeah.
And, you know, the cigars are in a zip with a Boveda pack, wrapped in stuff, in a hard outer case. And I will say I bought from like big online retailers. They don't always do that. I had one come in. It was actually the collab cigars. The box was smashed.
Oh.
And I was so fucking scared. And it was like, just by the skin of the teeth, the crush went through right next to the cigars.
Oof.
Yeah, just about shit my drawers. So great packaging and branding on the packaging. It's cool. It's fun to open. It's got the Fat Boys tape and all of that. So head on over and check them out. While we're at that, on the socials, you can reach out to us, Burnline Podcast at gmail.com, and drop us a line. Let us know what you are looking for. We would absolutely love to hear from you so that we can sort of customize and tailor the show to you. We are on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, of course, for the videos. And we are doing a promotion, free sticker pack for Fatboy Cigars, including a decal for this thin green line. And we dropped the rules for that in episode 52, the Puck by Alec Bradley, which is not doing as well as I had hoped, possibly because it's a Puck by Alec Bradley.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we don't have any comments on there yet, and so I'm going to go ahead and go through the rules again for those of you that are out there, and we will add it to this episode as well. To be qualified to win the 5 sticker pack of Fatboy Cigars, great for your travel Herefordor. All you have to do is like and subscribe and share this video with one person, and then comment in the comment section stickers, and you will be entered to win one lucky winner will get that sticker pack.
Yep.
But mostly what we're asking for is for you guys to interact with the show. You know, we try to smoke stuff that's useful to you guys, and we want to hear from you. So good, bad, ugly, let us know what you're thinking, what you want us to smoke, any concerns that you have, and we will bring that up. Some of our great tobacconist tips of the week have come from questions from listeners. Of course, you can always DM us. And a special shout out, yesterday was Amanda's birthday, so happy birthday, Amanda. Appreciate you following the show, and keep it up. I think that's it, man.
That's it.
Let's wrap up this cigar.
All right.
To all of you out there in the interwebs, have a great week.